minns ju den tid du gav mig life-bilder, yo. Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunna ge förut. Det finns ju ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för det, baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig, och det jag lägger av min tid.
Bye.
Good afternoon. I guess it's good afternoon where you at, Chief. It's morning, still morning here. How you doing?
Good morning.
Everything's good over there in West Africa?
I'm doing good, Baba. How are you? How's the week been?
It's been a hectic week, man. A lot's been going on, we got some things going on next week. A lot of people preparing for Black History Month, which is coming up next week. And I just been busy working, busy researching, doing what I normally do, doing what I always do.
No doubt. What's going on Tuesday? I know we got an event coming up on Tuesday that people out there can look forward to.
Yes, you're absolutely right. One of our former guests, Sister Davis, Celeste, invited us to come to her where she runs this mentoring program for young men, and she invited us to come over there Tuesday evening and share some knowledge.
No doubt. I'm looking forward. I never had the opportunity to really address the audience of young folks out there, so I'm very excited about that. Appreciate her inviting us out there. But we got a great show today. We got a good show today. It's always good when we bring youth to the platform, especially young folk who typically get overlooked, typically ain't looking even to be found. They're just doing great work and just staying out of trouble, man. I love this brother so much. Just his whole vibe, his energy, as well as his friends, man. He's 1/3 of a team that's been doing some dynamic research just about the African diaspora and the African world. I've been learning from these young cats, man. So I really appreciate Brother Dominique and his team. But with no further ado, I think it's just best to bring them out and get the show started. How about you, Baba?
Yeah, bring it on. I had an opportunity to meet Dominique back in October, so I'm very impressed with this young man.
Absolutely. Greetings, Dominique. How you doing, brother?
What's up?
Hey, Mr. Dominique, how you doing, man? It's good to see you again.
Man, doing good, man. Ready to get this thing started, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I know we had you on here before. You filled in for me one time before, but we couldn't really focus on you.
Yeah.
And but this show is about you, brother. It's important to highlight those who are out there really putting in some work that's relevant in the community. Right. I want to give you opportunity to talk about that because a lot of people don't appreciate the research side of education, but you have a knack for it. Like I said, I've been learning from you. I've been learning from Habib. I've been learning from Brother Clarence. I'm a student, and it's good to learn from the young folk, man, because they just got a way to put it.
Yeah,
but, you can tell us who you are, man. Where you coming from.
Okay. Well, this is the second time currently coming on this show, so I'm gonna say this is the sequel to the half interview we did when I was co-hosting. My name is Dominique Holiday. I am for zip code purposes, I'm from Nices, South Carolina, but my family is scattered all throughout the Orangeburg area, the Big 803. And I define myself as a up-and-coming intellectual, scholar, researcher, at times lone wolf. Known by few, but seen by none. But hey, showing my face more than none. So
yeah, man. We need that.
Yeah.
That's good. So, I like the way you do your thing. Yeah. I know a little bit of your history. So, I know who you descend from and this and that. We get into that a little bit later on, but
yeah.
You have a proud ancestry that you should be proud of, man.
100% from top to bottom.
Yes, sir.
Top to bottom.
Yeah.
I want to talk about I want to talk about your team, man. You know, Roots Renaissance. You
Roots
know,
Renaissance.
the concept, how it came about, and is there any project or any work that we're looking forward to, man? Because I know we had Abib on, we had Clarence on,
yeah.
Now you on. It's like, man, that's the unit right there. So
yeah, man.
You know, anything new going on?
Well, as of now, man, we talking about bringing some content out because you know Clarence has been putting content out as well, and we talking about doing some YouTube videos and things of that sort, and even trying to go as far as to Trinidad, I believe, research wise, trying to get out there. But we're gonna and just talk that into existence. But you know how it started, if I'm correct, and them guys might correct me later. I think it was Bibb who came up with the idea of us coming together, doing something. But I had already came up with the term Roots Renaissance because, I was paying attention to things that's happening all over the diaspora, specifically in the U.S., but all over in general. I was like, dang, it's like a Roots Renaissance almost. People are using their history, trying to reclaim that collective historical and cultural memory and trying to build off of it. And I'm like, I'm feeling that. It's like, how the Harlem Renaissance was big in this time in the 1920s. I'm like, shoot, in the 2020s, we got a Roots Renaissance going on. And, I be saying that over and over again when I would comment on the Clarence's post. And he was like, hey, man, I really do like that term because he came up with his own term as well called Roots Season. So if you do see that term, that ain't mine. That was Clarence's own. But Roots Renaissance, yeah. Yeah, I came up with that. Yeah, man. Oh, I can't hear you. No, I can't. All right.
Well, man. I know you familiar with the Orangeburg area. You're familiar with Willowtown. Tell us a little bit about what you know of Willowtown because we all connect there in one way or another.
Well, of course, first things first, Willow itself, of course, if you don't know, that's Norway. That's what people, back then in that time, it was known as Willow, specifically on the census record, of course. And, a lot of families, most of the families out that way, I'm kin to.
Right.
Like every last, I go as far as to say 90, maybe 97% of the time I'm related to. Through common ancestry, the Tylers, the Yawns, Perry, Blake, Green, the Greens, of course. Jameson's, man, I'm all in that. Holidays, of course, last name is
you sure are all up in there, and
all up in there, man.
You yourself, man, you are a direct descendant of a man named Samba Tyler.
Yeah,
Samba Tyler was born in Africa. He's from the Gambia, I believe.
Yeah.
And I believe he was enslaved by the Tyler family in Willowtown.
Yeah, that'd be my 7th great grandfather. Yeah.
You found him yourself?
Yeah, I found him myself because how I started before I got on Ancestry. I used to get on Find a Grave or whatever. I don't like being in cemeteries and all that stuff, but I like, dang, this is the quickest way I can learn about my genealogy and stuff. So I started with the Stevenson side, which ended up being at a brick wall as of for now. Then I like, okay, let me just do the Greens, Falls, Tylers, Yawns, Pears, or whatever, and see what I find. And then once I got on Ancestry, I just converted what I knew to Ancestry, and then the hints started popping up, and I started looking at the census records, death certificates, and things of that sort. And I was like, dang, I'm finding an influx of information. Then I found William Tyler, my 6th great grandfather, and I see that on the 1880 census, he listed his father as being born in Africa, his mother being American born, but his father being born in Africa. Then a hint popped up for a man known as Sambo Tyler. But of course, I think in West Africa, Sambo and Samba are used interchangeably, but it could have been most or Samba Tyler. So,
well, yeah, we have another relative, a guy named Wayne Young, and that's where I first saw Samba Tyler's name at.
Yeah.
That's how and then I saw the name in your tree, and I connected you to him, and he's also connected into something we was talking about a little earlier. Yes, matter of fact, the symbol for Samba was it was a tree. It's a tree in West Africa.
Yeah.
And Wayne Young was saying that was his symbol for Samba Tyler, and his name actually changed. He kept the name Sam,
Yeah.
He kept that name. His original name, I believe, is Samba.
Yeah, because then he had like a third great grandson that was named after him, named Sam or something along those lines.
Well, he had some descendants named Landy Tyler, which
Yeah.
was
Yeah. That
which
name
was the
pops up twice on my family tree. Matter of fact, that was my grandmother's grandfather. So yeah, I'm familiar.
And see, I think I believe also that I believe she was either my fourth or fifth grandma, Sarah Pedro.
Yeah.
She had something to do with raising Landy Tyler or
his grandfather. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find them connected in the senses living in the same neighborhood, same household, and all that. So that's just another connection that we share. And then well, you also have another direct ancestor.
Yeah.
I know you know about him. This guy, he was Yoruba, I believe, from
Yoruba. Yeah, he was.
Yoruba, and he was from the Denmark area, and
Yeah.
I believe his church is still in existence today.
I'll be butchering the name so bad. I think it's called Capunion. or Capernaum. I hope none of the members are on here because I ain't want to come for me, but yeah.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah,
I couldn't say the name either, but I know it when I see it. And it is Capunion.
But matter of fact, I think it was his two of his grandsons, Prince. One of them was named Prince, and I forgot the other's name. They were Hightowers, and they were some of the founding members of that church. So
exactly, and it's still in existence today.
Yeah, man. Then
those folk also connect to folk at Woodlands.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
at Woodlands in Bamberg. So that's another thing. That's another plantation that the three of us share. Kinfolk were enslaved on the Woodlands plantation.
Yeah, but my African ancestor, I'm gonna say his name, Abram. I'm okay. Abram Fila Ori, which means cap of the head. How I found him, I found him through my green side of my family because I went through my great grandfather was raised by his grandmother. Her last name, she married a false, but her last name was Hightower. So I just went from there, and then I found her. You see, I guess Abram would be her great grandfather, and I was like, and after that, I found an article that a distant cousin of mine wrote. I think his name is William D. Davis or something like that. He's from up north. And he wrote an article, and he's like, he was born in Africa. And I was like, whoa, most African Americans to begin with can't get past that 1870 brick wall, even find an African ancestor, and furthermore, one that they can name that has a part of his original condiment or whatever. I was like, wow, Abram Fila Ori. Then once I found out what that name meant, and I started realizing, like, okay, I'm a direct descendant of New York.
Yeah, I was shocked to see that you're luckier than most people that know the actual name of an ancestor from Africa. Now I found ancestors from Africa, born in Africa, but I don't know their African name.
Well, what happened? Okay, during during the weeping time, a few years before the Civil War jump started. The man who owned the family owned him and his family. I can't remember. I think his last name was Hightower. Along them lines, he decided to keep them together, him and his wife, because him and his wife had a full-blown wedding on the plantation. So him, his children, and for as I understand, his grandchildren were all just congregated on that plantation for generations. And after enslavement ended, if I'm correct, he lived like 5 or 6 years after emancipation. Died in, I believe, 1872. Wow. So, and then furthermore on that, it was like a family. It was him and a few of his siblings that were brought over here as well. Because
that's something I was going to say too, because we've seen in other cases, like with Jim Rumpf and others, that there was oral tradition passed down of whole families on the same ship. And being related and saying, well, we're not related by blood, we're related because we came over on the same ship.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally right there in the area, especially when Baba was talking about woodlands. That was one of the plantations that had that particular story. But you can just imagine, man, none of those ancestors came over alone.
No.
None of those that you can name came over by themselves, man. And chances is they probably stayed close to the people that they came over with.
Yeah, and if they were in the same town, you know, hey, this your uncle, this your such and such. You know, you grow up playing together, you grow up, you know, creating memories together. Then another thing I want to add too, my cousin, like I said, I don't know him. He wrote a book about him. And there's plenty of more information that was passed on orally about certain ones, even having other Yoruba names being passed down in the family. You know,
that book is in the Bamberg library.
Yeah, and it's also in the Schaumburg in Harlem.
Exactly. Yeah.
And,
you know, you can go to Bamberg and look through it and pick it up.
Yeah,
I think it might be a reference book, but you may not be able to take it out the library, but you can go in there and see it, research it.
Oh yeah, I most definitely got to do that, man, because like I said, I view ancestry as gold. Like these are the foundations, these are the bricks that built the foundation we need to build ourselves off of in the 21st century and carry over into the coming decades.
So Don, let me ask you a question, Don.
Yeah.
Because you know, not many young brothers is into this, you know, this research.
Nah.
What drives you? Like what really got you into it, and what really drives you to continue to dig up the research?
All right. Well, first thing first, just growing up, you know, for the most part, I was raised by my grandparents, nobody who lived next door. And, you know, I was listening to them talk about, you know, their parents and grandparents and their upbringing or whatever. And, you know, I had an ear for it, you know, why everybody, you know, some of the younger said they'll listen or whatever. They're like, you know, old people stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. There's something about this that's interesting. And, you know, growing up on family land, you know, you just keep hearing the stories about this person and that person or whatever. So, you know, I start to visualize like, wow, what was their lives like? What were their hardships? What were their, you know, what brought them, you know, what gave them hope in their day and time or whatever. Now, you know, I became more and more interested in ancestry and things of that sort. Then, you know, watching Find Your Roots with Dr. Henry Louis Gates Jr. really just like set a fire up under me. Then one thing led to another, and I was like, wow, man, I need to start, not only am I listening, but I need to start recording this in my memory or whatever. So when I finally start doing that genealogy research or whatever, I can start from there.
That's real.
Yeah, man.
So how long you been cross-referencing in terms of actual research?
Let me see, because before I got into this intellectual journey I'm on now, I was on that. I was doing a lot of, you know, back when I was in high school, because I was homeschooled. I came home. I went to HKT for about 11 years, but I did all my high school years homeschool. So, you know, I just had time and energy just to, you know, do a lot of research and whatever, even though it was a little more on the misinformation side, but nonetheless, I had to go through that process to get to where I am now. So I would say, I guess I'll start off when I was 15, man. I'll say when I was 15. I give credit to my early years. Yeah.
Well, one of your teachers, one of your former teachers, who's also very proud of you and what you've been accomplishing, Dr. Curry, man.
That's another major influence for me.
Yeah.
His class in 8th grade. Yeah, Curry made me realize that hip hop is part of our history. It took him teaching us that and letting us know that for me to understand that. So yeah, Curry is a major touchstone. You know. Yeah, man.
Curry's one of them brothers, man. He's one of them brothers, man. You know, he's just trying to start. We had a conversation the other day on my Facebook post. And he was saying that we should do an op-ed.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Argument that we making, saying that, hey man, y'all need to stretch that corridor up a little farther.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to have that conversation, man. You'd be surprised, but really, it ain't no debate.
It ain't no debate, man. It ain't no debate. If you come from this area, and you go as far as Aiken County, and you just relate it to what you see and what you hear and what you know about the Gullah Geechee low country culture, we extensions of that, man. Yeah, the roots, essence of it are in the low country, the lowest part of the, you know, of the state, no doubt about it. but it don't stop there. The traditions may be more so may survived into the prominent age of the 21st century, but some of those same customs traditions were practiced all up this way. I can relate to that from my own personal experience. I'll give you one, all right? An African burial tradition I had performed on me. My father told me about this when I was like a few years back, and you know, by doing research and stuff, I was able to realize, like, okay, this ain't no Native American tradition. This ain't no slave tradition. No, this dates back hundreds or even thousands of years. I was crossed over my great-grandfather's grave.
Oh, wow.
You mean passing over?
Passed over. Yeah, passed. You know, the language some use crossed over, but yeah, same thing. Yeah.
That's an Orangeburg. That's a Low Country practice that they used to do. That used to, when folks would have what they call a setting up after a funeral or whatever.
Yep.
A newborn baby would be passed over the coffin. You know.
Yeah, and you know, I go ahead.
I heard that was to like break the cycle of death.
That too, but also the belief is what I was told by my mom. I think I told by my mom. Then also the research I did confirmed that it was to keep the deceased from coming back trying to take the infant. You know.
Okay.
That's the belief, and that belief, and you know, I think I got a correspondent in Nigeria. He's Igala, and me and him, you know, I've been sharing a lot of research with him and stuff, and he's like, they do that there as well. This tradition is not just confined to just, you know, the Orangeburg all the way down to the Charleston area. You got people as far as Sumter, because you know, when I'm gathering information and intelligence, I look at everything, comments and all that. They were saying, yeah, we do that up there, up that way as well. Then you got people in the Caribbean, Jamaica, Haiti, I think Trinidad, and even Barbados that practice that.
It shows all the connections, man. And once you start studying the local history of a certain area, and you tie that in with your family experience and everything, and it just blows your mind. You will just say, look, I've seen this somewhere before. I know this. This is what we do also. We do the same thing as the people in the Low Country on the Sea Islands do.
Same thing. It's like you piecing the puzzle pieces together and you realize it's a much bigger puzzle. But you know, you got a lot of people who look at it.
Now go ahead, brother.
Well, yeah, once you piece the puzzle together, you realize, man, this is a much bigger picture at hand, but you got those who just limit their view and confine themselves to these, you know, these man-made colonial borders.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, why do you think that since the last century, the 20th century, we've seen the Gullah Geechee, the name, the culture, the people dispersed. We've seen them go through a process of, you know, being dehumanized, being stigmatized.
Yeah.
And to see the resurgence now in the 21st century with those of us, the descendants that's coming back to reclaim it.
Yeah.
You know, why do you think it is that there's people that would attempt to like kind of block those of us who actually have the identity away from it?
Woo! Some people might try to come for me, but hey, I got all guns up. Land, politics, land, politics, land and politics, man.
Yeah.
You come for me right now.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you got to be right and exact. I like to be right and exact when I do my thing. I don't give you no opportunity to come back and say, well, this ain't right.
Information is war.
Like for us, what me and Chief concentrate on, and you do the same thing, is lineage restorage. You're restoring your lineage.
Yeah.
And I believe that once you connect back to your lineage and know where you come from, you'll develop that Geechee pride.
There you go. You build off the foundation.
Geechee is real popular right now.
Yeah, it's real popular now, man. You know,
a lot of people want to know where they come from, and
and that's great and all, man. I'm all for it, but just make sure that in this, how can I say, in this ocean, this sea of misinformation, we anchor ourselves down in truth and we stand strong against all the ignorance that comes.
Yeah, man. Say that.
Yeah,
say that.
Yeah.
Say that, man, because we got certain opportunities. People miss, you know, giving us the wrong definition. Some people saying we Aboriginal, Native American Indians.
Man, I'm
so some folks You know, we got all that kind of stuff going on, man. And
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
even among those who we supposed to look up to, trying to throw that into our identity. You know, but of course, here in Gullah Nation, man, we all about Africa, man. Africa for Africans.
The
Man.
root of it all, man. The root of it all. Neither you want to repatriate or not, that's the origin, man. That's the origin point. Start, you know, the South, you know, like I think I told Bill this a few months back, the Caribbean specifically, but the South as well, these are the stepping stones to Africa, man. To Africa.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah,
man. I just don't understand. I understand, but then again, I don't, or maybe I just don't want to understand, like, these identity politicians claiming to be this, that, and the third, man. Like, you just not only you confusing yourself and people alive today, you passing on this confusion to the next generation, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, that's why it's so important. I would say that's why it's so important, like what like Dr. Curry is doing.
Yeah.
You know, what we're doing to make sure that we chronicleize these stories.
There you go.
Out there, you know, because nobody else got an interest to make sure that we represent it but us. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we're coming from the Orangeburg area, birthplace of Gullah studies. You know what I'm saying?
Lorenzo Dow Turner, South Carolina State University, man.
Exactly. You know, what we want to do is we want to start highlighting that. We want the people of Orangeburg to know this.
They need to. This. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't, cause you got some people like, you know, oh, them people down there, them people down there. We is them people. Yeah, you might have some slight accent differences due to systematic and family things. Don't talk like this, don't pronounce this, that, but we are an extension of each other. And I'm like, what more do you need? I said, okay, we just need to put the clean glass of water out there, and hey, it's your choice if you want to drink it, but we got it out there for you.
That's it.
Yeah, man, you sound good, man. You're one of the few young men I know that talk like that. And I come across a lot of young folk by working at the library, but you doing your thing, man, and you putting that right good information out there.
Yeah, man.
It's good. That's a good thing, man. Good thing.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have like a center or a museum or something like that, like right there in the Berg, man. Because to me, I'm telling you, bro, from the research, so many Africans passed through Orangeburg. Yeah. On their way to Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana, that we don't really consider that you don't get from the Low Country into Georgia without going through Orangeburg. Especially when we're talking about back then. We're talking about a district that includes Aiken, Bamberg, Lexington, Calhoun,
that extended as far as Charleston and Beaufort. Yeah. But they get so caught up they get so caught up in the 21st century geography, of course, which is understandable. You know, how things are now is how things are now. But I've heard whispers and rumors, don't quote me, that even they're thinking about extending Orangeburg as far as into Dorchester. And I'm like, shoot, that's how it was before.
Exactly. That's exactly how it was before. And that's what I mean by when I say, when you study the local history, Orangeburg was much bigger than what it is now. Yeah. It extended almost all the way down. Well, it did extend to where North Charleston connects.
So of course,
and we've already shown that they were bringing the Africans straight up Edisto River from Sullivan Island. Pirates. It was in the 1700s. Pirates was raising all kind of hell down there around Charleston. They were snatching people and coming right up the river.
Going right, settling in Orangeburg or in Bamberg before they got to the Berg. And then these families, these plantation families, gotta think they are families. They're connected. Just because they're in different so-called counties or towns, they still speak with. They still was connected with each other. They would pass on profit to each other.
Oh yeah, they was all family. Even when you look at the Woodland family, originally they was over on Oak Grove. They was in Roseville. They was in Orangeburg County. They ended up in Bamberg. And when you look at it, like, see, that's one thing I appreciate about me and Baba's method. We like to go into who these bookers. Like, we ain't afraid of that. Some people like to dismiss the bookers, man, get out of here, some race insensitivity shit. But we like to pay attention to those who were the holders. And how did they pass us around?
Exactly.
You know, how did we work? You know, what was our culture like? And what we find is that, man, they was some vicious people, man. They was into incest. They was marrying first cousins just to keep the slaves in the family. They was doing all kinds of stuff just to keep us property.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know some personal stories myself. You know,
Man, I know some stories, man, that will shake people to the core.
I mean,
there's one family in particular that probably connects to all of us. The Livingston family, right there in North, right?
From Norway, Springfield.
And, man, they had a lot to do with enslaving our folk. They in the Tyler, they were passing us around as Christmas gifts and wedding gifts, and they were hiring us out to do different things. Like my own ancestor, I believe he was a cobbler, and he was going around he covered the whole area, must have, because he got descendants everywhere.
You know,
my five-time grandfather, Caesar Hart, his descendants are all over. From Willowtown to Aiken.
Yeah, and I want to think too. You know, I haven't proved it yet, but it's just my theory that I got to be I want to believe that I could be a descendant of Caesar Hart, because there's he has too many descendants that's in the Andre area, specifically in Norway. It's just too many for me.
You are absolutely right. He may be an uncle of yours or a cousin of yours, but you definitely may have some connection to Caesar Hart.
Yeah,
that much I know. And I was showing you guys earlier. This is a piece of gold I have right here. This is gold right here, and I got this from I got this from a lady named Dorothy Ryan. She's a member of Good Hope. And this man right here, Robert Connor, his descendants share DNA with the three of us. You know, that's this man's descendants have married into some of the most well-known families in Cope, Norway, Willowtown.
Yeah, like I said, I'm connected to him through his daughter. Let me see, Chloria Connor, who was, you know, my second great grandfather's mother. And, you know, I heard I grew up hearing a lot about my second great grandfather, George Washington. I grew up hearing a lot from my grandfather about him. So when I was able to find his mother and father, I was like, look, okay, I'm learning more and more about how he possibly got this knowledge and teachings he had to build what he had. And then when I was able to go even further, like, dang, there's possibility that his grandfather, whatever, you know, it's just, how can I put it? When you want to know, I'm the type of person, I try to visualize what it was like in that day and time, of course. If we focus so much on the struggles and the despair that our ancestors went through, we kind of cut their humanity off. Like, no. There's more to than that. They got a legacy of institution building and organizations, Freemasonry and things of that sort. Don't get so caught up in the symbolism to the point you lose focus on the legacy that they leave behind. Because symbols have more than one meaning to every culture.
Yeah, you're right. These were people who were autonomously governed for the most part. Even during enslavement, you find that we were on a task system, you know, and so we were already, you know, more independent, at least in terms of how we operated, even on the plantation, you know. And so after that, of course, when you see institutions, you see the educational institutions that we created, primarily them churches, you know, it might have something to do with Christianity, but that building and those families and those churches were our governance institutions, the pillars of our community.
Yeah,
so
man.
We find that we have so many that we connect to and our family connects to. That means that our family came out of slavery, community building. They came out of slavery, building what they needed to sustain future generations.
There you go.
We wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here, regardless if you know you Christian or not. You got to give respect to the institutions we built because they helped us economically, politically, educationally, things so on and so forth. That's what got us through in those days and time.
Yeah, it's interesting you would say something about the Masons too. Baba, I think Baba, you'd be able to take it away for real because we were talking about Good Hope. not too long ago. Good Hope AME is one of the first AME churches in the Coke area. If I'm not mistaken, it might be the first. It was a bush arbor or a hush arbor. It was a secret church during slavery.
Exactly.
We wasn't allowed to have it, but we had it anyway. So basically, it might have been church, but to us it was family and community, and we maintained that regardless. And so by 1865, after the Civil War, we came out with a church, Good Hope AME. And Bob, I can tell you about the Masonic connection there in terms of, you know, some of the people that was involved in the founding of the church and things like that. And it's a very powerful and great story.
Well, as I was just showing you about this man, Robert Connor, his descendants, my ancestors, they all came out of Good Hope. They all came out, and Good Hope was a Freemason. They were Freemasons. They came out of the Bush Harbor. The original families were Cleckleys and Yons and Tylers and Johnson, Gibsons, Glovers. All of these people have a connection to Good Hope. Good Hope has been around almost 200, about anywhere between 160 to 200 years now. Something because they just had a celebration about a few months ago. It might be like 160 years.
Yeah, because
see, the lady who gave me this, she's a descendant of Camden Wade.
What is the lady's name again?
Her name is Dorothy Ryant.
My mom knows her.
Yeah.
My mom knows her.
I'm telling you.
Matter of fact, I have another thing about me too. When I'm doing research, I like to go and read old books from like the late 1800s and early 1900s. And I have a book, speaking on the local leaders all over the United States, but specifically they got a book for every state in the United States almost that talks about local African American leaders. And I got some of the names of the potential leaders who were like pastors, teachers, philanthropists, farmers in the communities, and some of them went to Good Hope and Macedonia.
Well, I'm gonna throw this little tidbit at y'all. Chief, you may already know about this. The man who laid the cornerstone for Good Hope was the great grandfather of Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Okay, he laid the cornerstone for Good Hope.
And not only that, but if you remember, Baba, Bishop Alexander Payne, he's the one who sanctified the church. He's the one who made it official.
Exactly.
Yeah, I read about it.
He was the bishop for this area, for that Willowtown North area. The man you just said, Payne, and I believe he may have had something to do with going back to Liberia or something like that.
Yeah, he did. He became the bishop of the AME Church. You gotta remember that in South Carolina, the church was banned ever since Denmark Vesey and Gullah Jack went off. They banned independent black institutions at that point. But after slavery, people started to come out the bush arbors and set up the AME Church. AME Church had more resources. They had connections to the brothers and sisters in the North. And so he became the bishop, and he rebuilt the AME Church in the South. The AME Church, I'm talking about all across after emancipation. He was a mulatto himself, but he was black in spirit. He was black in loyalty.
Oh yeah, man. And another thing too to add about Dave Chappelle's ancestor, I think he was involved in the case. Remember, did I tell you about the guy? I think his name was Pink Franklin from Norway, who shot. I think he shot. Did he shoot and kill two white men or one white man? One white man, but he was on the run. In some of the low, probably in the backwood or swamp areas of Norway. And I think Dave Chappelle's great grandfather was one of the men that helped him get a fair trial because, mind you, this wasn't a story of a man being hanged or burned alive. He lived to tell the story. Matter of fact, he changed his name and moved to Blackville.
Are you talking about the Hamburg massacre? Or
this happened? No, it wasn't a massacre. What happened was, I can't remember his name clearly, but his name was Pink Franklin. And what happened, he was a tenant farmer staying on this white guy's property, and him and his white guy had words or whatever. So the white guy called himself trying to storm into his house. Pink Franklin laid him down. He laid him down.
You know what? I think that might be the Norway riots.
No, it ain't connected to that. This is a whole other incident. This is a whole other incident right here.
Okay. Man, I have so much information in my head about this area. I get confused sometimes.
Hey, Hey, Don, but you know what though? The reality is that there's been so much resistance to white supremacy in that area that we don't that people don't know about unless we bring it to the fore. And I'm talking about we've even when I say Orangeburg, I love to brag about Orangeburg. I love to say, man, that's my hometown. That's where my family from. Because there's so much up under there, up under that county that needs to be dug up. And when you understand the genealogy of it, like the way that we study it, you can put certain people and certain families into perspective that every Black American family knows. So we have so many famous people that have contributed to Black culture that got roots in Orangeburg. And me and Baba is always going over, man. Harold Melvin, family. We talking about Jeremiah Shabazz and others. We're talking about so many people.
He did it. Sierra.
Yeah, you know, Big Daddy Kane, Puff Daddy, you know, Eartha Kitt.
That's my cousin.
Mike Coulter, Viola Davis. You know, we can keep going. But for the young people out there, it's good to know that people of that caliber come from Orangeburg, because I remember when I used to go out there when I was younger, man, Orangeburg was so small compared to like where I came from, right? Yeah. The way it was laid out, like small townish. And it was like, man, people had it was an attitude there that was like, people were so feisty to each other. I'm like, man, why are they so feisty? It's so small. Why are they so feisty to each other? Yeah. But I can see that feistiness as a part of our culture locally, because wherever you find people with Orangeburg roots, even if they've been in New York two generations, they feisty.
I can bounce that. Yeah.
You know what they say, Jeremiah Shabazz was probably one of the most feared Black men in America during his time because of his ties to Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad, and his ancestor came straight out of Cope.
Yeah, that's right.
You right.
His ancestor, I'm gonna tell you, you know, his ancestor is Caesar Hart.
Yeah. He's a descendant of Jake Livingston.
Yes. So
yeah, man.
See, like I say, man, Caesar Hart, blood, man, is some strong people.
Yeah, man. And you know, to think about it, how was Caesar, as they called him on the plantation, how was he before he even came to the United States? Came to what we call mainland North America. Where that feistiness come from?
We believe he was a Mandingo.
Oh, no wonder then that feistiness, man.
Because when I first found him, somebody found him before I did, but I connected him to my ancestors and to my family and everything. But his symbol was the mud cloth, the Mandingo mud cloth. So I believe, the Mali mud cloth. I believe he was Mandingo, a Mende people.
Not only that, but you gotta remember that our enslavers were white supremacists. They were white Christian nationalists. You know, you always gotta remember that. So they were giving our ancestors names that meant something to them that didn't mean anything to us. When they were saying Caesar is like the general, you know, the general facto. Like Caesar's a big dumb. Yeah, and then I seen one of his grandsons' name was Agrippa. You know, and when you check these names, you'll find these are biblical names, and these are names that that they have status related to them. To call someone a Caesar is like, yo, that's the big dog. You understand?
In public.
And so it's important because we see that Caesar and his descendants have connection with so many different large slaveholding families, from the Jamisons, the Livingstons, the Pools. You know, it's just it's amazing. And to have 18 children, 15 sons during slavery.
And I believe his son William, was it 22? I think it was 22.
Yeah, he had 22 children.
22 spread out from Orangeburg to Aiken. All they were at Goodland's Plantation in Springfield. That's where Caesar his in Willowtown. Goodland's, like I said, another place called Rocky Swamp, another place called Rocky Grove. All of his descendants are between those areas.
Yeah. And
right,
you know,
right up Highway 4, Dominique.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right up Highway 4. Matter of fact, there's a slave cemetery right
Really?
there. Yeah, right on Highway 4 going towards Springfield. There's an old slave cemetery.
Okay.
Yeah,
These are my
I've been needing to get out there because another he may be connected to us. He's a Facebook friend of ours anyway. Don Washington. Don Washington. I believe he lives in Springfield.
Yeah.
And he also has a genealogy business that he's trying to open up. I believe it is in Springfield, and he's got his building and everything, and he's done a lot of research on people that went to HKT, which is the high school you went to, which is in Norway. You know, Hunter Cunard for people who don't know, but HKT. A lot
it's even a story with that. I ain't gonna go into details. You know, I had an ancestor, of course. He was like, you know, at my school, you know, named after him or something like that. But from what I was told, that ain't true. That was named after his cousin. Something like that. You know?
Yeah. Well, if you from Norway or Cope, most of us went to GW Carver or HKT.
Yeah,
you can't get away from that. Those are the two schools that our families went to.
Yeah, because like I said, I know that's how I've known Don basically all have my whole life almost. Because
you know Don.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He comes into the library every now and then. He's done a lot of research. He's done a lot of research, man. He's very familiar.
Yeah, man. I'm friends with him on Facebook as well, man. He's doing some groundbreaking work because I'm like every week he's connecting the dots because he was doing genealogy from my grandfather, my father's side, the James family.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! See now, you just threw another name out there.
Yeah,
the James and Isaacs from that Springfield area.
Yeah.
Wow. You can't get around it, man. You can't get around it. So I tell guys, like, we're not even a family. We like a breed or something. It's
man, like a whole tribe or clan, man.
well, me and Chief have discovered that if you're from this area and you have that Sierra Leone connection, a lot of us seem to come from that Taima Corey chiefdom.
Yeah.
In Moyamba district in Sierra Leone. That seems to be a hot spot for us. A lot of people
it's interesting. It's interesting you would say that because you know that when they bring us back for homecomings, the only chiefdom they take us to is Tayama. They don't to Corey. Out of all the chiefdoms in this country, 149 chiefdoms, every time they brought Gullah Geechees back on official trips, they've taken them to Corey chiefdom. And that's the place where they've coronated honorary paramount chiefs. Emory Campbell, as well as Auntie Pearlie Sue, present right now. So it's crazy because it's a place that when you come back as a Gullah Geechee, they take you to. Even though Gullah Geechees will have ancestry all over the country, they take you to this particular chiefdom. And this is the chiefdom that recognizes you as a Gullah, as a leader, and crowns you and sends you back to America to represent. And this is also the chiefdom that we find in multiple family connections to as well through our DNA. We are the first people I know who stepped up to claim that identity, but I know it's not only us. And I think it's almost like an accident. I don't think anyone deliberately decided that we're going to connect these Gullah Geechees to this chiefdom. It's from our work. It's from our work, you know?
Yeah, because you got to think when Lorenzo Dow Turner was doing his anthropological work, he found a Mende song, Amelia's song, that burial song. See, they give credit to Joseph Aporle with the documentary, but it really was Lorenzo Dow Turner because he has actual field recordings of his elder singing the song her grandmother would sing to her, her African-born grandmother.
Right. Well, what Doe Turner did was he recorded the song that was preserved by the family in Georgia.
Yeah.
And then later on, Opala used that same recording to come over here, and then they've traveled all around the country to see if anyone will know and match that song. I've met Jabati. She's a very good friend of me and my wife. She's been at the house with us and everything. So it's a big connection. It's that same area. They're from the Bow district. Our ancestry is going back to the Moyamba district, which is side by side. It's a powerful thing when we start talking about where we relate in Africa, and how we, even though we connect at the Orangeburg level, we'll find ourselves connecting at the African level too when we get to dig. Closely. So it looks like we took our ancestors from the same places and took them to the same places.
And like I always try to think like this too. You look at it, okay, it just starts in like levels to levels. You look at it from the local level, the national level, then you look at it from an international level. Then you like those cultural connections, a song, a burial tradition, the foods you eat, the beliefs you come up with. All of these have cultural implications that lead back to a much larger story. I done found close to 15 African songs. Some of them have been, traced back to their ethnic groups or whatever. And there are a few in my possession that I've found in other books that I haven't found no anthropological connection to yet.
Wow. We got to do that research. We got to make a connection.
Yeah, man.
Wow. That's powerful, man.
Yeah, man. It's all about reclaiming our collective historic and cultural memory, as you guys like to say, which is true, restoration.
Yeah.
Well, that's my favorite. That's my favorite line. Restoration is in order. I mean, I can connect all of us mainly to Sierra Leone, but we have ancestors all up and down the West Coast. I've found connections in Nigeria and the Congo specifically.
Because matter of fact, I think I told you about this elderly African woman who's recorded in the 1870 or 1880 census, Sally Kashi. She lived on Amelia Street in Orangeburg.
Yeah, you mentioned, you told me that before. I found that to be very interesting.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, do any of her descendants, do they carry that surname? Because that surname is just an anglicized African name. A lot of people forget that. A few of our ancestors kept part of their original names. It just became anglicized over time.
Oh yeah.
I made a list of that. Yeah. So
yeah.
Man, I would like to see some of your research compiled and documented.
Yeah, I'm doing that now, man. Yeah, everything I got now is in my notepad. I got it saved onto Gmail. So it'll never, for the most part, it never be deleted or missing, go away or whatever. But I have to share more and more.
Yeah. Me and Baba was just talking about getting out more, in the universities and the classrooms, get out more to the young people with this information, in a way that they can relate to it and consume it. Say, wow, you know what I'm saying? Even if I might be in a situation where I can't become a researcher like you right now today, you can at least give them something to think about that can encourage them along the path. And our people need it. Like you said, it's an identity crisis going on. And the only way to get home, man, is to get back to your ancestry, use your parents as your guide.
There you go.
That genealogy,
That's what I do. My parents and my grandparents, man, is like just listening, ear hustling, man, gathering that intel.
That's how I came up. I was listening to the stories that Papa Joe and Papa Joe's my grandfather. My grandmother, Big Mom, and all them. Man, I remember the stories. I used to be sitting on the edge of the porch while the old folks would be talking until they wanted to say something they didn't want me to hear, and they would shoo me away. And then I would come back and listen a little bit more. And those stories, they stuck with me. They stuck with me through the years. As I get older now and look back, I remember, especially when I'm researching, and I see a family name and I see how they connect to particular families. I'll be like, oh man, I know they people. That's why they said that so and so act like his grandfather, or or she act like her grandmama or something like that. But those things are real. Yeah, those things are very real.
Now, for my grandparents on both sides, I ain't had to worry about them shooing me away because they would they wanted me to know this stuff. So I just be listening. And I figure like this: My ears ain't big for nothing, so I might as well use them.
Hey, man. When I was coming up, man, my mother used to always be on the telephone down south. We was in New York.
Yeah.
But what she loved to do was get on the phone and talk to her down home folk. And I might be in any part of the house, not really paying attention to her, but I overhear these stories, and somehow they stuck with me. You know, when she would be talking about her girlfriends, and like she would be talking about Baba Ajamu's aunt, Julia May, you know, Brother McKinnon. Oh man, my mother and that lady were the best of friends, and all they did was talk about people on the hill, you know, people from Jameson Avenue, people from Gulf Avenue, and those stories stuck with me.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah,
that's real. Hey, Baba, you know, even when we're talking about some of our ancestors coming over on the same boats, man, and already having a sense of community, and then now we're talking about you and Baba Ajamu's parents having that relationship in New York as a consequence of the Great Migration. And it did something. It gave me a flashback because it's like that. You know, there's like at least, I say 20 people that I know that I grew up with in Pennsylvania that their family is from the Orangeburg area, Columbia. They from that area. Yeah. And right now, they moved their family back down south, and they down there right now. I went to elementary school with them in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Our families didn't really separate once we went up north. We
helped stay in contact because the simplest thing as, you know, coming back home, visiting grandma and them, then taking a little how can I say, a little bottle of White Lightning or moonshine back to north, you know, little simple things like that, you know.
Hey man, when I first got to Brooklyn was just like being down south.
Right.
Everybody that came to visit was from the Orangeburg, Charleston area. So I didn't miss anything. I was around the same people who I was raised around, and they were doing. Yeah, they went and got into their little New York thing where they might have been running numbers or whatever. But yeah, it was the same people, man. And they would come and play cards with my mother, and they would be cooking big pots of stone stew and all these different foods that they grew up on.
Yeah,
from down south.
That's like what when I was listening to Dapper Dan. Y'all familiar with Dapper Dan? He got roots in South Carolina because I think his mom from South Carolina, upper South Carolina, Darlington, and somewhere. But anyways, though, he would say, like, you know, by him growing up in the area he grew up in, you know, he had people from South Carolina, Virginia, this place and that place from the South, and you know, it's like, you know, it was like one big community. You know, you had some cultural diversity nonetheless, but you know, one big community.
Man, I used to go to Dapper Dan store on 125th Street in Harlem. We used to go there to buy Mark Neck t-shirts, and you know, the Mark Neck shirts to impress the young ladies back. This is in the 70s when hip hop first came out, man. I used to go to Dapper Dan's on 125th.
Wow.
I can tell you some stories about how them country boys came up from down south with 50 cents in their pocket, and they made a way.
Made a way out of nowhere.
They made a way, man.
Yeah, that's part of our story. You know, like I say, I always try to look at our history, specifically us in the North American mainland, but I apply this to the diaspora as well. Struggle. It's not just we got the struggles, okay, the contributions, the achievements, the creativity, the resistance, the resilience, things of that sort. You just can't focus on just the struggle is a big part of it, but it's not the entirety of it. You got methods, strategies, and techniques we can learn from our ancestors that they use to get by in their day and time. Just got to build off of it, man.
Hey, since this is football season and everybody getting ready for the Super Bowl and this and that, I'm gonna throw another little tidbit out there for a guy with Orangeburg roots. You know who I'm talking about, Chief. He played for the Green Bay Packers. He was in one of the first Super Bowls. I think it might have been Super Bowl number 3, I believe. But anyway, it was one of the first Super Bowls, and Herb Adderley, and he has Orangeburg.
Yeah. He played for Vince Lombardi. If you know about Vince Lombardi, man, he was the one who basically brought the NFL to what it became. He started bringing black players into the league at that level. But our cousin, Herb Adderley, he was born in Philadelphia, but he's a Livingston. His family, his mom and dad from Orangeburg. Okay. Even when you look at the Ghetto Boys, the rap group, they had a DJ called DJ Ready Red. Their original DJ was called Ready Red.
Yeah,
well, DJ Ready Red, he's from Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey, but he's a Strowman. The Strowman is from Springfield.
I'm kin to the.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
So, like I said, this is the goal right here.
Yeah.
Goal book that proves that we're all connected one way or another through this man here, and it proves that we're all connected one way or another, either by blood or marriage, and or either we all stem. We all stem from the same source.
Yeah, I want to add a quick note though. You talking about how different ones, and what a guy from NFL has Orangeburg roots or whatever. I'm just sitting here thinking like, shoot, man, when them country boys started playing, I bet they had a hard time handling them, man.
Oh man, you know how them boys in Coke play football? They don't play. They'll run right over you quick.
Hey, Dom,
Dom,
look him up. Look up Herb Adderley. You're gonna realize like he was prime time before Deion. He was a cornerback. He was the best cornerback in the 60s. He played for Dallas and he played for Green Bay Packers. I believe he won like 2 or 3 Super Bowls as well. He was a problem. Yeah, he defined the quarterback role. The cornerback.
Them boys, I grew up with some of them, man. They play hard. I played a little back. I ain't played, high school football. But I played a little backyard football. I was pretty decent here and there. I was a small built dude, but I ain't like getting tackled. I ain't gonna. I'm pretty boy. Man.
Hey, you see Walter, right? Walter Curry said his daddy mentioned him, so ain't no secrets going on, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dr. Curry, man, for tuning in. We appreciate you, big bro. We got to come here and talk it up, raise the information, raise the value of the information, make sure more people get access to it, man. But yeah, man, back in the day, our people knew these stories. Yeah, our ancestors knew these stories. It's like I know that Mario Winans. Mario Winans is an Orangeburg native. His dad was Bishop Brown from Faith Tabernacle Church, right there in the heart of Orangeburg. My mom went to Faith Tabernacle and was good friends with Vicky Winans when she was Vicky Brown. Oh yeah, we can talk about it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this lineage restoration thing is real. I'm a big believer in that. And when you connect all these different people and you connect back to the motherland and everything, man, it gives you a sense of pride. It gives you a sense of determination. Yes, it tells you how to act accordingly and carry yourself.
There you go. That's like what I say. Okay, I know I represent not only just myself, my family, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, my community. Right. Even though we got some fools running around, nonetheless, we still a community. Then I represent my ancestors, those who came before me.
Well, like I said, man, you are a direct descendant of at least 2 that I know of.
Yeah,
and can name and can connect. It's documented, brother. You the real deal.
Yeah,
you the real deal.
All right. I like to appreciate you, man, for coming on the platform, and just really I want to encourage you, brother, to keep doing what you're doing, keep researching, keep spreading this knowledge. We're gonna need you a lot more when none of us is around no more, man. You the youngin' on, you the youngin' on deck. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm very proud to even know you. Even more proud to know that, man. We kinfolk, because I'm very proud about family, man. When I think about my family, man, we just some real beautiful human beings. At the end of it, we're real intelligent. We don't let people mess with us. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And I see that in you. It makes me feel good. Man, keep doing your thing, cuz.
Thank you, man. My head already big. You're just making it bigger.
Oh man, you all right, man. Like I said, I met you a couple of months ago. I met your mama.
Yeah,
I think you had your little brother. Was it your little brother or little sister?
Little sister, my little shadows, my little soul.
Yeah. See, they watching you.
Yeah, they is.
Yeah, they watching you. So you got to be right and exact when you give them that good information.
Yeah, like I be telling I think I told you this too, man. So I try to tell people, it's one thing to brag about saying, "Oh, I got it out the mud, I got the mud," but what you gonna turn it into? Mud is meant to be turned into something. You're gonna turn it into a brick and build a foundation, or already add to the existing foundation you come from. Well, if you ain't doing that, you're just holding a bunch of watery sand, man.
Oh man, you have some good things to say today, young man. I appreciate you. I appreciate more than words can say, man. You've done a great job here today.
Thank you.
So you know, we got Black History Month coming up. It'd be good to see y'all link up out there and do something in the community. Take this information out there some way, somehow. I seen some events going on. In fact, I seen Baba shared the flyer. I believe the first day is like Gullah Geechee cultural heritage or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's something. One of my coworkers put that together, and she's got some things going on at the library all next month. I think Dr. Curry has something to do with that also. But yeah, it's Thursday, every Thursday during the month of February. We're going to have something going on at the library.
What's up? And that's cool because that's my birthday month. My birthday is February 25th, so you know.
Okay.
Oh man,
and I think the first event is going to be something about Gullah food, Gullah cooking, Gullah taste. They're going to have a little tasting, and it might start. Thursday. I believe it starts this Thursday. So if you're able to come by, man, come on by and holler at me.
No problem.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know, eventually, man, we're gonna have to get together, man. All of us, man. Don Washington, you know, us three, Walter Curry, the whole tribe. We're gonna have to get together, man, and figure out how best we're gonna institutionalize something that we can do every year annually for our people, man. That really puts the roots at the center. Every year, man, you know, because it's really for the kids, it's for the young bucks. I would love to have known this kind of information by the time I was 10, you know, to have this kind of pride and knowing who I connect with and things like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got our work cut out for us.
Yeah.
You know, also another good thing too is that we got a lot of sites, a lot of monuments and relics that exist out there, not only in Orangeburg County, but around that we need to go and secure. If you look at the corridor, and this is why I'm always grumbling about the corridor, it's because the federal government can now take tax money and pay for our culture to be preserved in one area, while at the same time neglecting it where we probably have more preserved, more need. Like Baba was talking about the cemetery right there on the highway. How many of us know about it? How many of us got ancestors out there? What about the tombstones out there?
Right.
You know, we got old plantation buildings as well. Same thing being done to preserve them. We got old houses that our family left behind. My grandmama took her house from Cope and took it up to her land in Orangeburg. It's an old house from back in the day. So we have a lot of preservation in that county beyond just knowing this knowledge. We need to start getting at the physical. Let's get at these churches and get at these cemeteries. When you look at the corridor, that's what people are doing. People are looking at these monuments and relics that will keep the knowledge going, telling the stories behind them. And I would love to see us get into this work. You know, as a collective.
It's best used when it's applied.
Yeah, man. You know, we right now, let me tell you, man, we got some motion. Orangeburg County right now got some motion. We got some dynamic brothers and sisters, young and old, that are producing information that when we put that thing together, man, we got an awesome story to tell the world about who we are and where we come from. And I'm just excited about the times that we're living in terms of that, because some people say they worship their ancestors. I believe in venerating them. I believe in, you know, spreading their word and keeping their names alive and places that we love. You know, we have to do that work. And, you know, that's also a part of us being Geechee. We claim to be Geechee, then we got to maintain that culture as well. We got to make sure them cemeteries are safe, make sure the ancestors are getting their feedings and all that.
That's like, let me see, I'm about to lose my train of thought, man. You know, how can I say it? What we doing now, the past, what we doing, the past writes the present, and what we doing the present writes the future. So we got to make sure what we writing now sets up the future correctly.
Absolutely. I agree, brother. So, Baba, you want to ask him the three? You want to ask him his three? About to close out.
Three questions. Three things that describe yourself. you know, how would you describe yourself? And we'll close on that, I guess.
Ooh.
You know, 3 words.
3 words.
Yes, sir.
Dang. I done did the intellectual scholar, free thinker thing. Calm, cool, and collect.
Calm, cool, and collect. That's good. Well, that's you, man.
I agree.
Man, the coolness.
That fits you, man.
Yeah.
Dominique,
But you know what, though? Hey, Bob, I ain't gonna lie, man. He said calm, cool, and collected, but he said that with a devious face, man. Hey, listen, calm, cool, and collective mean you wild boy. If they get on your bad side, there's another side of that. I know what calm, cool, and collective mean. I know what the other side of that mean.
Yeah, man.
You a bad boy.
Yeah, man. It ain't no fun when a rapper got the gun. Just put it like that.
Yeah. Hey, Dominique, man. Glad you were able to come on and spend this time with us today, man. You done a great job, man.
Fun, man. We got to do it again sometime, man.
We are
Thank you
proud.
very much, man. We definitely bring you back soon, man. We're trying to figure out ways to bring more of a collective together, man. So it's not just like necessarily a one-on-one. There's certain conversations we got to have in symposium format. There's certain conversations we got to have, you know, with invited guests, and we can sit around and round table it.
Yeah,
people, man. So they got, you know, once it's recorded on the internet, it's there forever. And you know, it's our job. But thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you. Shout out to the whole Roots Renaissance team, brother Abid, brother Clarence. Shout out to y'all, man. Keep doing that great work.
Much
and
love.
Salute to you, brother.
I see my good friend, Sister Bernice Johnson out there. I'm gonna say hello to her. Thanks for tuning in, Sister Bernice.
Absolutely. She's been representing, man. Bernice been representing. I've been watching her on Facebook, man.
Yeah, she's doing her thing. And our other good friend who wrote Cornbread, the lady wrote the story about her family. Yeah, down in Utahville. She's doing big things with her book. Dr. Curry's doing. He's got some good things coming up. And shout out to everybody, man. We all doing it.
Everybody, man. Look, Tammy, the Tammy Show. Tune in to your local educational programs. Make sure that you tap into these individuals we're talking about. So that you know where to go to get the right information when you need to know it. Some of us do value knowledge. Some of us are making sure that we give a lot of our time and energy to make sure that we can answer the questions you have. Shout out to everybody who tuned into the show. Also, my cousin Darnisha, all the way out there in Oakland, California, man. Found her not too long ago. Cousin doing her thing as well. It's a great time to be alive.
Renaissance, man. Hey, man, Roots is a renaissance going on, man. There's a larger revolution at play.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, cuz. Hey, Don, man, we'll talk to you soon, bro. I had to get you back on the show, even maybe sooner than that, man. It's been great.
Easy.
All right. Many roots, Chief. Many roots.
One fambo.
All right.
All right, bye-bye. So we're still alive for now, but man, that was a great show. I love talking to little cuz. He bring that youth energy, but he bring that clarity of an old, wise man. You know, he's young, but he got that wisdom. So we need more of that.
Hey, just imagine he got all this knowledge now. Wait till he gets to be around our age and everything. He gonna be a bad brother, man. He gonna be a bad brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We gotta build him up. Build a young boy.
I like to say we have something to do with grooming the young man. You know, that's good.
For sure.
We like to see more positive young men like him. But it was a great show. Sure. Great show, man.
For sure. Thank you, Baba. Thank you again for your time as well. We're gonna keep going. You know, this is episode 20. We got 20 episodes under our belt right now, man. We've tried to be as friendly and as open as possible, man. We've had brothers and sisters from really all around the world, from different parts, come on and share their knowledge. And moving forward, man, we just want to diversify it more and keep going. You know, these stories need to be captured. And, you know, we're just playing our part. Thank you very much. You know, I don't always give you your props, man, but, you know, I'm following your footsteps. You're my elder.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate. This is what I love to do, man. This is my passion.
Yeah, man.
This is how I choose to spend my time.
Absolutely. It's not in vain. So with that, shout out to everybody out there again. We love y'all, and we'll talk to y'all next show. All right.
All right.
Peace and love.